Welcome to Green Gainer 75. I'm Buddy Phillips. This is part 2 of our South Bend 14.5 inch lathe restoration project. Well, we have had a very busy couple weeks working on the gearbox for this lathe. As you can see, it's working on getting some painting now, and it's moving along pretty quick. But we ran into a problem with one of the nuts on one of the shafts for the gears. That nut was stuck, and it would pose quite a challenge. For one thing, having to get a special wrench to turn that nut, and second of all, having to get that off without breaking a tooth on one of the gears, which of course that would create more problems later on, trying to get that gear repaired. But we did get it off. So what you're going to see today is we're going to pick up at that point, and you're going to see me get that that nut loose, and we're going to then follow through all the way until the gearbox is completely taken apart. So that was quite a day, about 5 hours there taking that apart, and through the miracle of editing you're going to be able to watch it 5 hours in about 20 minutes. So that'll be good. I just wanted to mention a couple things about this video series. For one thing, this video series is intended to be more entertainment than how-to. There's a lot of things that you would need to know to take apart this gearbox that I'm not mentioning on the video series, just as a matter that there really isn't enough time to put everything in. It's quite an involved process taking this apart. One of my hopes on this video series is that you will be encouraged to maybe take on a project like this yourself, or just to enjoy watching me as I go through this process. If you are going to take one apart yourself and do a restoration job, I want to encourage you to get this book right here. This book is a guide to renovating the South Bend lathe, models 10L, 13 inch, 14.5 inch, and 16 inch, by Ilion Industrial Services LLC. This book is what you need. It is well thought out, well laid out, has lots of really good pictures. The print is large enough that you don't have to strain to try to read it and everything. They really put a lot of thought into doing this. I'm going to include a link down below so that you can know how to get in touch with them. They also have other items that you will probably need for your project, and definitely make your project a lot easier, like felts and lubricants and things like that. So I highly recommend getting in touch with them. They really helped me out a lot. I've even spoke by email with one of the representatives, and super nice. You got back with me right away. So really a big help. So highly recommend them. Once again, link down below. Okay, I just wanted to mention a couple of other things. One thing is safety. When you're working on a project like this, you really need to wear your safety glasses. You'll see throughout the project that I am wearing my safety glasses. We gotta protect these eyes, because you know, you only get two eyes for your life, and once they're messed up for good. So you gotta really protect them. And a piece of metal in your eye can really mess up your day, and it can really mess up your eyes for the rest of your life. I have gotten some metal in my eyes before, and scratched them, and it really made things difficult for a couple weeks. I was fortunate that I fully recovered, but I tell you what, I don't recommend that. It's not fun at all. So let's put on these safety glasses. They're cheap. Get you a cheap pair. I think I paid $3 for these at Walmart. And they're nice. I tell you what, for a $3 pair, I would get these $3 safety glasses before I got the $9, $10 ones. I think they're fantastic. So get you a good pair of safety glasses. The video that you're fixing to watch, I've had some trouble with my computer. My computer is at least 12 years old, and it is being replaced. I've got a new one on its way. Hopefully the next video you watch will be produced on that computer. The video that you're fixing to watch, you're going to notice that there are a lot of skips and pops and some audio problems and some video problems too. When I put together two viewpoints, two cameras, it really overwhelmed that computer. It was well past the capabilities of that computer to handle. So I do apologize for that. I was able to get it together, get you a complete video together with the two viewpoints, and so hope you enjoy that. And I do apologize ahead of time for some of the technical problems, and I'm hoping that upgrading here will take care of that. Also, it was filmed on a Saturday afternoon, a very busy Saturday afternoon here in the neighborhood. Neighborhood kids running around, dogs barking and all. So I want to apologize in advance for some of the background noise that you're going to hear. That background noise also was the reason why I went ahead and did narration for the video after filming. Because I was concerned that you might not be able to hear me very well as I was working on the project, because it was pretty noisy around here. So I do apologize for that, and I hope you don't mind the narration. Well, with that all said, let's go ahead and get started with the video, and I hope you enjoy it.
Okay, I'll start off by heating this nut that I've been working on about a month now. Had a great deal of trouble trying to get this free. First off, it requires a special wrench, which you see on the right hand side, and heat it with the propane torch. Now, for the sake of time, I went ahead and sped this up 4 times, so this actually took about 5 minutes to heat this to get hot enough to where it actually did break free, as you'll see in a moment. What I haven't shown is that I actually tried this process and repeated it probably about 5 times before this time, when I finally had some success. So I continued heating the nut until it became heated all the way around, just slowly turning it, as you can see here. Okay, at this point, now I've already tried bring this at least 5 times by hand, not having any luck. I went ahead and grabbed a rubber mallet to tap on it. As you can see, I'm choking them out. I'm very high up on the head. You can try to control that. I don't want to do it very hard. Really concerned about breaking the teeth on that gear, which I've got blocked in place with a brass block. At this point, it's desperation. One way or the other, I've got to get this off. I'm hoping not to break a tooth on the gear. I don't want to have to, have it rebuilt and or replace it. I got lucky. It did free. I definitely do not recommend doing that. Beating out with a hammer like that, because it's likely to break a tooth on the gear, and then you'll have he'll have some big problems. I just got lucky. That right there was a moment of desperation, so yeah, I don't recommend doing that. Now, as that nut turns, it will allow the shaft to push off to the left-hand side. All those gears are riding on a keyway. Well, I take this to apologize for some of the audio and the skits you might hear. I'm reaching the maximum capability of my computer. My computer's fairly old. It's about 10 years old at this point. So it's time to either do some upgrading or to go ahead and replace it. You could probably also hear my dog in the background. Probably somebody walking by the house. And there's that shaft. Wow. That right there was difficult to get out. Okay, the thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put these gears onto a copper wire. And up to that is we want to make sure that we don't lose the correct order and placement of these gears for when we go to put it back together. I did take pictures before I took it apart, but just for simplicity's sake and to make it easier later on, it's easier to just go ahead and put it on this wire. And as I mentioned before, if you go ahead and get that book on disassembling and maintaining the lathe, as I was talking about earlier, you'll see all this instructions inside that. So I highly recommend you go ahead and get that book. Like I was saying earlier, this really isn't an instructional video. It's more entertainment and maybe to encourage you to go ahead and give this a try to restore your lathe. Now I'm going to be doing some pretty heavy cleanings this cast here, so I want to go ahead and remove all these bearings and bushings to make sure that I don't get they don't get damaged or get it later on. Using a brass punch here to go ahead and tap it, hopefully without damaging anything. more cautious than I need to be, but prefer to be safe than sorry. Okay, on top of one of these gears, there's a small screw with a little ball detent inside it. Next step is to go ahead and remove that. Placing all the parts in my bag. I'm using a small punch to help me remove the spring. Okay, here we are. I'm removing a pin that goes through one of the gears that holds the assembly in place. This particular pin doesn't go all the way through the axle, shaft rather. It just kind of goes along the side of it and follows a groove. Some of the neighbor kids playing in the background. This was a Saturday afternoon. As you can hear, there was a lot going on in the background. It's quite a busy day in the neighborhood. After removing that, should be able to go ahead and remove the shaft. Well, the first thing you want to do is go ahead and line up all your gears on the key that runs that shaft. You'll find that the gears all have keys on them that will line up to it. Took a little doing to get it free. There's a pressed on gear that you have to drive to get it out. And there it is. Now I'm making this look kind of easy, but through the magic of editing I'm able to do that. In actuality, this entire disassembly that you see in this particular video took me about 5 hours. That bit, like I was saying earlier, this project is quite difficult. It's a real challenge, but it's a challenge I'm enjoying. side. Go ahead and put the gears on a copper wire, copper, so not to damage the. That way we keep them all together in the correct order. Well, that takes care of everything on the inside, so we're going to go ahead and flip this over to the front side, and the next thing we're going to do is work on removing the label plate. Using the grinder, we're going to cut a slot in the top of the pins to allow a flathead screwdriver to go inside them, and that way we can turn it. This being the first one that I've ever done, it took me a little while longer, but once I got the hang of it, you'll see the other ones went quite fast. I didn't go quite deep enough. A couple of taps on the side should help loosen it up, and then should be able to screw it right out. There it is. Be sure to wear your safety glasses when you're doing this kind of work. Those little pieces of metal right there can really mess up your day. two sides, and it'll come right on out. Nothing to it once you get the hang of it. Okay, well, all disassembled and ready for cleaning and painting.
Okay, we're back. I hope you enjoyed that. I tell you what, that was a lot of fun to do, and really looking forward to continuing this project, working on the lathe. The next thing that we're going to be videotaping will be the reassembly of this gearbox. Looking forward to that. That should be within the next week or so, and that's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully you enjoy that. Okay, if you like what you see here, go ahead and do me a favor and click subscribe. It helps me out. It helps encourage me to continue making videos like this, and it really helps out the channel. So I definitely appreciate you watching. If you like this video, hey, give me a good thumbs up, and leave me a good comment. I enjoy hearing from y'all, and I try to respond back to your comments as soon as I possibly can. So I guess that's it. So y'all have a good evening.